So a fortnight later, by excellent good fortune, the doctor gave one of his pleasant dinners to some 5 or 6 old cronies, all intelligent, reputable men, and all judges of good wine. And Mr. Utterson so contrived that he remained behind after the others had departed. This was no new arrangement, but a thing that had befallen many scores of times. Where Utterson was liked, he was liked well. Hosts loved to detain the dry lawyer when the light-hearted and the loose-tongued had already put their foot on the threshold. They liked to sit a while in his unobtrusive company, blah, blah, blah. Right, just, I'm going to give you 1 minute just to highlight all the positive words within that first paragraph. All the positive words. And you need to decide what they are. So are they a positive adjective? Are they a positive verb? Okay, so just 1 minute, go through and highlight the positive words within that, but we're not going to call them words. So positive adjectives, positive imagery, positive verbs. All right, just going through and highlight or circle and label what they are, please. I think they're all out unless there's...
Have you got a spare highlight I could borrow, please?
Ridiculous. Just 30 seconds, having a look through, please.
Is there a reason that a fortnight in capitals? Or?
No. No. Okay, right, let's stop there then. So, I'm just going to go through. So I think there's a plethora of positive words in here. We could call it what when we've got a group of words that have a similar meaning. Lovely. So the first paragraph of chapter 3 contains a positive semantic field. A positive semantic field. And this positive semantic field is in what to the rest of the novel that we've read so far? Good. So the positive semantic field at the start of chapter 3 is in contrast to the negative atmosphere that has been created thus far by Stevenson. Matt, this positive semantic field then is, or the contrast created here, symbolises more widely what? How? I want contrast. What theme is linked to contrast? Brandon Paul's got his hand up. Are you going to tell me an answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Duality of human nature.
Excellent. So, the positive semantic field at the start of chapter 3 is in contrast to the negative atmosphere that has been created thus far. Stevenson has possibly used this contrast to reflect more widely the duality of human nature. Okay, and I'm recording all this again so you can have a look, have a listen back. All right, so again, what's contained within the chapter is used to reflect something more widely. Okay, so that key phrase again, more widely. Lots of adjectives and verbs. So adjectives: excellent, good, light-hearted, good, rich, and we've got verbs of cherished, liked, loved. All right, very different style of language to what we have seen so far. Okay. Yes. What's it about?
What do you think it's about?
I don't know.
It's an important subject.
An RE poster.
You got it?
Pop. All right then, so next bit. I've been wanting to speak to you, Jekyll, begun the latter. You know that will of yours. A close observer might have gathered that the topic was distasteful, but the doctor carried it off gaily. My poor Utterson, you are unfortunate in such a client. I never saw a man so distressed as you were by my will, unless it was that hidebound pedant Lanyon at what he called my scientific heresies. Oh, I know he's a good fellow, you needn't frown, an excellent fellow, but I always mean to see more of him. But a hidebound pedant for all that, ignorant, blatant. Jamie's not here. Yes, he is. Jamie, what am I going to talk about in that paragraph, please? What are you going to have noticed about the style of language or the semantic field used in that paragraph, please?
Starts out.
Thank you, Miss.
No problems.
Starts how I'm really like laying into.
Right, so this is what you're not going to write in your essay. He starts out laying in to Lanyon. No. Clearly, the writer has chosen to use what type of semantic field in the second paragraph?
Quite negative.
A more negative semantic field to again emphasise, Will, the what? Good. To emphasise the contrast and symbolise more widely the duality of human nature. So all the time, Stevenson is using this contrast to symbolise more widely wider themes, more widely these greater themes. But of course, we cannot just focus on that duality. So if we look within that paragraph, we've got the idea, we've got this noun phrase here in scientific heresies in the fourth line down in the second paragraph. Scientific heresies. What do we notice? What can we say about that? What's he saying? What's Lanyon doing about to Jekyll's experiments by calling them scientific heresies? Good. All right. So Lanyon, the straight-laced, absolute representative of Victorian doctor, is criticising Jekyll's experiments, calling them scientific heresies. Lanyon's views then, Declan, reflect more widely what? Lanyon's views reflect more widely the views of
a traditional doctor. I don't know.
just what time period are we in?
Sorry.
Right, so it reflects more widely the views of the Victorian society, okay? Lanyon's fearful of the experiments that Jekyll is doing. Lanyon's fearful of these experiments, and Victorian society would be fearful of these experiments. So it reflects the views of a wider Victorian society, okay? And of course then reflects that theme we've got looked on, the theme we talked about in terms of science versus religion, not quite understanding which one to believe. So again, we've got a contrast, a clash, a conflict of ideas here. All right, and then we've got the conflict echoed in the conflict between the two characters. So just say conflict echoed in dialogue between two characters.
Which bit's this?
Just the next kind of 8 sections, 8 paragraphs when they're having a dialogue. So the conflict is echoed in the dialogue between the two characters. So their conflict of views there. So their conflicted views, again, reflect more widely the conflict in society. Then I want to have a look at the last paragraph. So, my good Utterson, said the doctor, this is very good of you. This is downright good of you, and I cannot find words to thank you in. I believe you fully. I would trust you before any man alive, I before myself, if I could make the choice. But indeed, it isn't what you fancy. It is not so bad as that. And just to put your good heart at rest, I will tell you one thing. The moment I choose, I can be rid of Mr. Hyde. I give you my hand upon that, and I thank you again and again, and I will just add one little word, Utterson, that I'm sure you'll take in good part. This is a private matter, and I beg of you to let it sleep. Couple of things we need to look at in there, because it might talk about, there might be something about the character of Jekyll. How, and I'm going to give you just 20 seconds to think about it, how may an audience feel Jekyll is deserving of his fate based on that last paragraph there? How might an audience believe Jekyll is deserving of his fate based on that last paragraph there? Just have 20 seconds thinking to yourself, how might an audience think that Jekyll, or a reader think Jekyll is deserving of his fate based on that? Emily, how might a reader think Jekyll is deserving of his fate based on that last paragraph there? What is he doing there to Utterson? What's he telling him, basically? He understands him, he trusts him, but basically, what's he trying to tell him to do? Go away, back off, right? So a reader might suggest that Jekyll is almost deserving of his own fate, as he is ignoring the advice of his friends, isn't he? He's ignoring the advice. All right. He's flattering him through the use of the adjectives good, and the verb thank, and the verb trust, and so he's flattering him through those use of adjectives and verbs. He's flattering Utterson. But basically, he's telling him to, it's none of his business, and to leave it alone, okay? The key quotation in this is, the moment I choose, I can be rid of Mr. Hyde. The moment I choose, I can be rid of Mr. Hyde. Why is that a key phrase, the moment I choose, I can be rid of Mr. Hyde? Why is he lying? Do you think he is lying at that point?
No.
No, because what does he think at that point?
He probably believes that he's in control of that.
Good. So the suggestion there, from the moment I choose through the verb choose, he thinks he is in control. He believes that he is in control of that situation. Yes?
Would you say it like subverts traditional views?
How?
Not having fear of it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so he's a subversion of a Victorian gentleman, yeah, because he doesn't seem to fear the unknown. I like that. So yeah, could be said to subvert or be a subversion of Victorian gentleman. Good. So there's a suggestion there that Jekyll believes he's in control. Okay, he's in control of this. All right, but he's not real. So Stevenson's giving a message here to us, isn't he? Stephen's intention here is to say, we may believe we're in control of these things that are happening, but he's going to teach us that we're not. Okay? If we mess with God and we mess with science, we will get punished. All right? Very similar, actually, to what we were kind of looking at in Romeo and Juliet, but in a kind of less serious way. It's obviously new ideas here. It's a more modern text than that. But there's a suggestion here, isn't there? So Stevenson's intention here is to get us to question whether we are actually in control, whether if we do these things we are actually in control. So he's getting us, the reader, to question whether we can control science or whether it will control us, which is what turns out to happen. Okay, so that's a really key quote there. The moment I choose, I can be rid of Hyde. All right. It appears that Dr. Jekyll believes he's in control, but Stevenson is using this to get the reader to question whether we can control science or whether science controls us. Okay, which is really important there.